good, LL Nation? Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm your boy Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. Left will be along in a few minutes. We are brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure that you drink responsibly. Come on in, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We're definitely going to jump into what we saw last night, the national championship game, um, and try to dig in a little bit more into what it means for Notre Dame in 2023. A team that feels like, and you see it in the aggression that they've shown in the transfer portal with the addition of Sam Hartman, that they can close the gap and make a run at a national championship. That's the feeling inside that building. So we'll talk about that. Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFP Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. All of our great content. Go right over there. You'll be blessed. CFB Nation, State of Recruiting, all the great shows. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know. We spin it different. Left had some work to do yesterday. I had 2 shows to do over at Irish Breakdown. So, it would have been a rush show, because his pocket would have been like literally an hour before the national championship game. So, we thought about doing an impromptu national championship pregame show type of show. And it was just like, you know what? Don't force it. Let's just wait until tomorrow, see how this game goes, and we can talk about it. So that's what we did. That's what we're going to jump into today. We want to give you an update on some guests we're going to have this week. Tomorrow at about 11:30 Central Time, we're going to have former Notre Dame linebacker, NFL Super Bowl champion Corey Mays. Corey Mays is going to join us on the Lucky Lefty Podcast. Corey and I walk the same hallways over at 1744 West Pryor Avenue. That's right, Chicago, Morgan Park High School. So it's going to be a pleasure to have Corey on the show to talk about what he's doing. He's an extremely successful businessman. He was extremely successful in the NFL. And we're going to talk about his life after Notre Dame and talk about what that Notre Dame education has meant to him. It should be a great interview. We look forward to talking to Corey Mays. That's tomorrow. And then we have it tentatively scheduled for Thursday at 11:30. Thomas Harper, the newest addition, nickel safety, transferred from Oklahoma State. He's going to join us on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Once again, that's tentatively because we're going to work with his schedule, with him moving and having a report next week. He's going through the process of moving and doing things, and he'll get back to us and let us know whether or not that's solidified probably a little bit later on today. So lock in at Lucky Lefty Pod on Twitter and Instagram to follow that information and updates. On Thursday, Thomas Harper, newest addition to the secondary for Notre Dame via the transfer portal, he is going to be joining us tentatively on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. You already know. We spin it different, man. That's what we do. Now, last night, national championship game. We can get to it because I was looking at the chat, and it is what it is. It is what it is. We did the show. I did the show with Brian Driscoll yesterday, and I fully expected. LL question of the day: did last night make you want playoff expansion, or did last night make you say, I don't think we really need playoff expansion? What did last night's result do for you concerning CFP expansion? I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys say. That is the Lucky Lefty Podcast question of the day. left. He's going to be joining us shortly. As I said, I think he's updating his computer or something. Got a new computer, trying to update it, do all of that stuff. After being in Hollywood on yesterday, I'm not mad at him though. Stacking that cheddar out there on the left coast. That's what you're supposed to do. I think disappointment is the word for most people, right? About yesterday's game. Disappointment is the word. And for me, I predicted that it would be, an easy win for Georgia, but I predicted that they would pull away late. I predicted that opportunities offensively would be there for TCU early, especially against the secondary of Georgia. And the opportunities were there early. Unfortunately, quarterback just didn't make the plays. And he got a little frazzled. And once he got frazzled, Georgia was smelling blood. I'm talking about from the coaches to the assistant coaches to the backups, starters, the stars, the supports. Everybody associated with Georgia smelled blood last night during the first half of that game. And to bookmark, I think the turning point, coaching is so important in these matchups. And I think Sonny Dykes lost his team. They were down 17-7, I believe, and they moved the ball into Georgia territory. And I think they took a sack. And then on third down, they got it back to 4th and 6 via a short completion. And they were in Georgia territory down 10 already. And I think at that point, they should have recognized that we're not about to stop their offense tonight. We're going to have to put up points. And I said it on the pregame show with Brian Driscoll over at Irish Breakdown yesterday. TCU's not winning this game unless they have 5 big plays. They need 5 big chunk plays to have a chance to win this game. And they ended up with 1, in my opinion, while the game was competitive. Sonny Dykes, you have to go for it right there. There's no reason not to go for that 4th and 6 right there. None. And I know what you were trying to do. Your punter did his job. You put Georgia inside the 10, and you put it on your defense that had already shown, in my opinion. The only reason that Georgia didn't have 21 points is because Stetson Bennett made the wrong read and didn't throw the fade to Donnell Washington on a 5'10 DB that he had right there at the pylon. That would have been 21-0 Georgia. That was like his worst read of the night, in my opinion. So you should have rightly divided what was going on in that game and where your team stood. And this is where coaching comes into play. If that was his opportunity to instill confidence or to give his team an opportunity to regain confidence and stay close, that's all they had to do. Sounds simple coming from me, right? All they had to do is stay close. But no, they had to find a way to put the pressure on Georgia because Kirby Smart and his coaching staff, somehow, some way, whatever they said in preparation, they got their players to come into that game loose. Georgia played carefree, loose, like Kirby said right before the kickoff, aggression. That's all you saw from Georgia. Aggression. Fly to the ball, fly around. TCU couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. And Sonny Dykes had an opportunity to change the tide and give his team some confidence when they were searching for something to hold on to in that midst of that barrage in the first half from the Georgia Bulldogs. And he chose the passive route. He chose to say, man, we're just going to pin him back there and hang our hat on our defense. No, not the way that Georgia offense was executing last night. I don't care if you had pinned them on the 1-yard line. They were going to go 99 yards. They had an answer for everything you did. Absolutely everything you did, they had an answer for it. And that goes to coaching. And I expected this. I was telling Brian Driscoll, I was like, "Yo," he asked me what's the key to the game, and I said Stetson Bennett. I said if Stetson Bennett is efficient and this Georgia offense operates the way they're supposed to operate, TCU doesn't have a shot. It wasn't on the Georgia defense. The Georgia defense was going to be who they are. They can't be anything else. We're going to get into that as well and how that plays into Notre Dame. What we saw from that Georgia defense, it's directly tied into what we need to see from Notre Dame defensively, especially getting Sam Hartman, elevating that quarterback room. We saw last night what we need to see, not only from the players, but Al Golden and the rest of that defensive staff. You need to step up. You need to step up. Lucky Lefty podcast. So Sonny Dykes missed his opportunity to put an imprint on his game as a coach. He definitely missed that. And once they went down and went up 24-7, it was a wrap. That was ball game. Ball game. It was over. There was nothing else to see, nothing else to do. So, that's the one point you want to make. That when you get into these matchups, coaching is huge. And we saw coaching come up huge in the semifinals. Kirby Smart had two of the most important timeouts to save Georgia. To save Georgia. And last night, Sonny Dykes had an opportunity to help his team the same way that Kirby Smart helped his team against Ohio State, and he missed the opportunity. Left. What's good with it, boy?
Man, tell you what, I wasted a couple hours of my life watching
Did,
that game yesterday.
did you at least order something good to eat?
Man, I couldn't even enjoy it, man, because it was over before the food even came out. I was like,
Right,
man,
right.
go
You
ahead and
tried
fix it up,
you
man.
tried to time it. You tried to time it just right.
Yeah, I got me a nice little strawberry lemonade, and I'm halfway through the sip. The game 14-0. I say, can you check on the order real quick? Cause I know it's I just ordered. I just want to make sure, 5 minutes go by. Not even had time. Game over. They come out with the food. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I can't even enjoy the food because I don't even want to watch it. Go ahead and box it up, man. I'm out of here.
So I just gave my thoughts from a coaching standpoint about last night's game and the missed opportunities for Sonny Dykes to help his team the way Kirby Smart helped his team against Ohio State. And then somehow, some way left Kirby Smart. And I'll search for it because I guess his pregame speech was leaked and is out there on YouTube. And from what I hear, everybody's like, yo, this is one of the greatest pregame speeches you've ever heard. So
What?
I can't, I don't know. I haven't heard it. Maybe we'll play a snippet of it just to
Movie
judge it.
quality?
Dude, they're talking about this like, oh my God. David Pollock, former three-time All-American at Georgia, was like, I was ready to suit up. I'm like, okay, dude. But I will be the judge of that.
I mean, who didn't want to suit up last night with
But
a Georgia uniform?
but I will say this. Kirby found a way to get them boys to play really loose, going for back-to-back championships. They came out carefree, fast to the ball, dominant, aggressive, and like you say all the time, left defensively. It's very rare that you snap a ball offensively that somebody on the defense does not make a mistake. And if they were going to make mistakes, they were going to make mistakes fast last night.
Yeah.
And they were like, look, if we make them, we make them. But we're not going to be hesitant. We're coming after you. We're going to put pressure on Max Duggan and force him to have to be perfect. And he was just incapable of being perfect.
Yeah, I think Max Duggan in games like these championship games, especially against good defenses, these quarterbacks come back down to earth. They become the average quarterbacks that they'll be, if they get to the next level, especially when they playing defenses like the Georgias and Alabamas of the world. All that throwing bubbles and stuff, you're gonna have to run some plays. And I
Hmm.
think Max Duggan became uncomfortable in the pocket when he wasn't getting hit. It just was too much around him, and he wasn't able to make the throws that we were able to see him make all season. But that just comes down to you really have to be that guy at the quarterback position. Bryce Young in the same situation. He's moving in and out of the pocket, taking hits, but still completing big time footballs. That just shows you the difference between a quarterback that's capable of winning a big game like that and a quarterback that can only take you so far before reality hits your team. And I think
Hmm.
reality struck a TCU team that was transfer heavy, but very talented in fact and athletic. But they faced a team that looked more athletic, looked faster, looked stronger. I mean, everything Georgia was running on the outside, it looked like TCU was running for their life.
You know what?
They was like really, even the little wheel routes and stuff, Stetson Bennett or whatever, Benson Stetson or whatever was throwing it downfield. And I mean, the TCU defenders are just head back, just running as fast as they can. They just couldn't, they were just a step slower. TCU looked like this team that was the step slower and the stepchild of the family. And Georgia did what they were supposed to do, did what championship teams were supposed to do, and smacked the teams that are inferior. And I mean, this was over before it started. TCU had no business out there, and Kirby Smart did a great job making those guys play to the level of the game in which it asked for, and that's the championship level. And I just don't think TCU is at that level. TCU played very well all season, hard fought, put them against a lot of top teams in the country. It wouldn't be that score, but they went against a team that's, recruited better. It's a different 290 like we talked about last week. Yeah, they got some good players, but their good players are different good players.
Hmm.
And it became apparent. I mean, everybody was on their A game. I mean, they tied in at Georgia's like the zeros like 6'7", freaking 260 easy, just a force. And he don't even have to get the ball. It's just a attention grabber. And everybody on TCU's defense looked way smaller. I mean, I don't know if the TV make Georgia look 15 pounds bigger, but they look 15 pounds bigger. And I mean, Stetson Bennett, being the old man that he is, he's my age. It's like if I got out there and got behind that defensive line, I mean, that offensive line with just a bunch of time and nothing but opportunity to do whatever you wanted. I mean, it's no wonder he had 6 touchdowns in the game. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I think the playoffs, I think the way the playoffs are constructed would make a team like Georgia probably not have the freshest legs like they did in this championship game. So that could, put a strain on, not only the scoreboard, but the effort to win a championship. I think it gives them a legitimate, not anybody can win, but, you're going to be a little nicked up going into it.
Hmm.
And I think that'll change the dynamic of the playoffs and the championship. But I'm glad this was the last. Well, this ain't the last year, but close to the last year that we'll have such a lopsided type of playoff system. And I think it's lopsided because I don't know if you could predict Ohio State being that close to Georgia. I didn't think so, but they made it a game. And then you get to the championship and it's like, ah. So I do think that this playoff example proved why Alabama should be, or there should be more teams expanded. I think I would like to see, an Oregon and an Alabama in there, Kansas State in there, um, us in there versus some teams. I think uh, that bracket would look pretty good, and then we just go from there. But I think if anything, we saw what recruiting can do when you deep and you got all the top cream of the crop players in each class, and you got some guys, and you got a coach that can coach.
That's the that's
It just makes it unstoppable.
yo. Ryan Day kept Ohio State from being in a championship game. You can't tell me any other. Ryan Day kept Ohio State. had them prepared, but when he needed to show up in the fourth quarter, he didn't, especially down the stretch of that game. Especially down the stretch of that game.
Absolutely.
At some point, the coach is going to have a moment in any type of big championship game where he has to step to the forefront and say, you know, man, I got you. I
Yeah, and
got you.
Kirby Smart
Kirby,
proved not only can he recruit, he can coach his butt off. And the calls he made in that Ohio State game were clutch because they easily could have changed the game in Ohio State's favor if he didn't make those coaching moves. So it just shows you how important, because everybody talks about the importance of is the players or the coach more important. The coach
mm-hmm,
is pretty darn important in the crucial times of the game. Maybe not the whole game because the players are doing that, but crucial times of the game where you're getting paid millions of dollars, that's why you got to make those really good calls at the right moments and also be able to recruit at a high level. So Kirby Smart's the master of that right now, and it shows. I
yeah,
don't think anybody is shown to be better as of yet. I think there's guys on his tail, but I mean, when you're talking about mastering the craft, he's got the coaching acumen, but he's also have the ability to recruit his butt off and continue to recruit, even though they're having major success.
absolutely. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. Tons of great content over there. Go check it out. State of Recruiting with John Garcia Jr. You know how we do it. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. We spin it different. Left, the question I posed before you jumped on was, how did last night make you feel about expansion to the playoffs? Did it make you say, nah, I don't even want to see teams like TCU in it? Or did it make you say, yeah, we wouldn't have had to watch this if Bama and other teams that would have been in would have had the opportunity? Like, I'll say this. There are some people who, look, I think it's disingenuous to just flat out disrespect TCU as if they didn't put in the requisite work during the season and in between games to get to where they got to. They weren't in the committee room. They did what they were supposed to do on the field. The committee put them in the college football playoffs. That's not on them. If the committee had chosen somebody else, they would have gone to another NY6 bowl. They showed up. If TCU didn't deserve to be there, then Michigan didn't deserve to be there because
Oh,
they
we know,
banged because they
yeah,
banged Michigan.
we
They banged Michigan. So I mean, if if you're gonna hit that first domino, then knock the second one down too. If you're gonna start talking that TCU didn't deserve to be there, then Michigan didn't deserve to be there, and they were the undefeated Big Ten champion.
and I do think that at the end of the day too, that in this type of playoff system, if you're doing it the right way, you just got to put the right matchups in, and college football playoff committee, if doing it the right way, should have known. Look, yeah, TCU great story, but no, we're not putting y'all against Georgia. We're gonna put Alabama in there because it's gonna be the best game. It's just what it is. It's
But
just what it is.
left when we
You should
said
you
that,
should evaluate the whole season on who's just got the best constructed team. If you're doing it this way, I think the next playoff style is a lot better because the college football committee can be like, well, that's on y'all. Y'all got to go through the gauntlet. And I think it will impact it a lot differently because a team like TCU could take a chunk out of Georgia, and then
mm-hmm,
they play Michigan, take a chunk out of Georgia off of that. And then
mm-hmm,
if they play us at the end, we got a good shot because they missing a player or two that was killing it all year. They, a little injured. They just got out of an emotional game. Anything in that matter can add to the toughness of being able to do it. That's why they say the NBA playing 86 games. That's the challenge. That's the professional challenge. 86, 82 games or whatever. So that's just going to add stress, and that's part of being a NBA professional. You got to play that length of schedule. So I think being able to switch it to more of a playoff like that, It makes it hard because if you look at NFL, there's the best teams, sometimes don't make it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they just played bad one day or they
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
emotional and then they lost the next week because they
Yeah.
couldn't get over it, or they
Yeah.
went to Miami the day before they played in Wisconsin, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it will make it more interesting, but if they had to do it on this previous schedule, just put the best teams that can match up
Yeah.
because you're not going to Cinderella stories don't win on the field. They win in the movies.
Yeah.
You know,
Look,
the good
they needed Georgia to play the same way they played against Ohio State, and Georgia probably still would have beat them.
well, Ohio State's quarterback is way better than
Way
Max
better.
Duggan. Like, come on, Max Duggan is not an NFL quarterback. He's gonna get his shot because he won a lot of games or whatever. But come on,
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Stetson Bennett and Max Duggan are gonna have about 8 to 10 years in the NFL holding and taking
Stetson,
stats, and
Stetson Bennett.
they're gonna get paid good money to be
I
back
think
up.
he should retire. This is the greatest,
He
for
probably
who
would
he
be
is as
really
a
good.
player.
He probably would be really good on TV.
Man, if he retired and then just made a movie about his life, like Rudy,
Mm.
he don't have
That
to play no man. Because what do you want to go to the NFL for?
he definitely can
To
make
do
a good
what,
gob of money. I mean,
man?
dude.
Quit. Get a house in Georgia and be the king of Georgia for the rest of your life.
I mean, holding a clipboard making 10 million is pretty good, bro.
I ain't gonna make it 10 million, but he gonna. I mean,
I
you gonna
mean,
get some
four
little.
or five. Hey,
And listen, don't even risk your
injury.
football career being damaged by how bad you'll be in the league.
Mm,
Don't become an afterthought
mm.
by going into the big pond and being an average dude that everybody forgets.
So don't allow yourself to get exposed, huh?
Don't let the story get sequeled and it not being that good.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting, Left.
Don't be what's my favorite man? What's that favorite?
Don't
Undercover Brother.
don't be
You know
Mike
how
with the
they
Wizards, huh?
man, don't be Undercover Brother 2. Undercover Brother 2 was a shame.
The
And
first one was funny.
the first one was great. They had Dave
That's a good
Chappelle,
call.
Eddie Griffin.
Yes.
Then don't be Undercover Brother 2 where you put Michael J. White.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go out there, man. Listen, respectfully bow out. You've had the greatest football SEC quarterback career you could have ever had.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did it as a nobody. You turned into somebody. Quit. Why you ahead?
Chappelle was in the first one too, right?
Chappelle was in the first one. They had a
Right.
cast.
Right. Right.
They had
Right.
a cast.
Right. Right.
He had one of the greatest side roles in the movie. Wasn't even the main character.
Right. Right.
You can still laugh at that movie today. Classic. And the second one was so forgettable, man. It should be a shame. You should be arrested for that mockery. But anyway, I'm telling you, go out as Hercules because you're gonna go. You're gonna get drafted or whatever, and then you're gonna go out in the preseason, stink it up, and then be a Jake Fromm. The difference is you got it done. Jake Fromm could. Don't be a forgetful Jake Fromm. Be the hero. Live in Georgia. Let them make a statue. They're not gonna make a statue about you go to the league and you stink it up. No.
You might have a point there, Left.
For real,
You
yeah.
might have a solid point there.
Man, he would be rich forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
imagine
needs to. Some financial people need to tap him on the shoulder, like, look here, we can really capitalize off this right here.
Yeah, be the mailman, quote
Man,
unquote.
he's already in LA. He can go take meetings right now, today,
Right
all day today. He can take meetings.
Man, let me be your manager, man.
Miniseries,
You
Netflix
could be the new
series.
Jared from Subway. Just a regular dude.
Yes.
Just a regular. You could be the new Subway dude. Even a regular dude can win 2 championships and go undefeated and be a Heisman finalist. And I look regular like a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
You millionaire. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Man, Lucky Lefty podcast, bro. Let me tell you something. Let's see, I forgot it. Somebody just talked about this speech. Let's go ahead and check this thing out, man. I've yet to hear this. It's supposed to be the greatest thing ever.
How
We'll see,
easy is it
man.
to deliver a great speech? I bet you Marcus Freeman with an undefeated team, knowing he gonna win, can probably get some bars. When you know you gonna win, you probably in there talking crazy. Yeah, and when we win, we're gonna take over the world. You know,
So, in your opinion, should TCU feel embarrassed? In your opinion,
I mean, obviously you don't want to go out like that, but I think just being realistic, there's some teams that are, well, ain't some. There's the king of the hill,
right?
and then there's everybody else that lives under the king, and they're not ready to beat the king. They were surprised they got that far. Georgia wasn't. I think that's just the difference. Georgia wasn't
Mhm.
surprised they got that far.
No,
TCU was.
Georgia was surprised they beat Ohio State though.
They surprised that it
They
was
said
close.
that they were like, "Yo, we
We
played
surprised
horrible."
that we beat them, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Here's
But
Kirby. Let's check it out, bro.
Yeah, trust your preparation. You understand? Your ass is prepared for this shit for fucking 365 days. I think about them fuckers in that locker room. Think about getting our opportunity. All the shit you went through this week to get ready for this game. Now is when you pay the fucking price. You go out there with energy, enthusiasm. Hey, now, ain't nobody in this room should be cautious. Ain't nobody in this room should be nervous about shit. Go out here and fuck their ass up. Don't think about scoreboard. Don't think about shit. You think about knocking the shit out of them. Did you hear what Box said on Monday? When I sat in that fucking meeting, I wanted to go fucking play right then. Tore your shit up out here. 2 years ago, fucked your shit up. Goddamn pride and joy tells me you fuck these guys up. You go play the right way. You play the right way. You knock their ass off. You stay off the fucking ground. You tackle the fucking man with the ball. The shit's easy. Look at the right shit. Punish their ass on offense and kick their ass on special teams, guys. It's about who the fuck we are. I believe in you. Let's go.
Kirby just basically said, "Dude, these dudes trash." I mean, that's basically what he said. Man, they trash. Go wreck them dudes. Get it over with early.
yeah, come on.
I thought it was about to be something where he was going to
When
be,
have you ever heard a
using
coach?
punchlines and sounding like Nas and telling stories. This dude basically just used expertise to tell his squad, man, these dudes are trash. Y'all saw the film. We saw the film. He didn't even mention defense. That dude said, let's go dominate these dudes on offense. He didn't mention defense. He said offense, special teams, let's go kill these dudes. Defense, just tackle these dudes. man, that dude, that's a C plus. That's a C
That's a
plus.
C minus. It was like, first of all, when have you ever heard any type of speech like that that's great? A dude say it was easy. What?
He said it was easy, bro.
TCU is not in there talking about let's do this because this is easy. They're like,
Oh man,
we're put everything on the line. This is all we got. Georgia was like, this is easy. Just go tackle them. Just do it. Let's get these sorry dudes out here. Let's punish them.
oh man.
He said, come on. He had to refer to 2 years ago. He said 2 years ago when they took it from 2 years ago. You got to reach that far back yet because you've been kicking ass. This is nothing new. TCU was not ready in the locker room. They're not talking anything like you're talking.
Dude.
And that just shows you. If they played that on the Jumbotron before they ran out, TCU fans would have left. Because even TCU fans would have known. We ain't talking like that in our locker room.
Right.
We not talking about it's easy in our locker room.
Right.
We talking about, dudes is kind of nervous and shaking up and crying. Kirby said there's nothing to be nervous about.
Like, dude, it's not one of the best. I've heard better pregame speeches.
Yeah,
it's not one of the best pregame
It's
speeches.
The easiest pregame speech.
Dude, it's definitely one of the most disrespectful. That's like a TCU diss. Somebody needs to put some music behind that bad fella and remix it. That's a TCU diss. That's like ether. That's like a TCU ether.
He said, we just eat him up.
He was like, dude, man, these dudes trash. That's basically what he said. This is easy. This is easy work.
He said this is
light work.
The man said it was easy. I mean, what coach in a national championship game talking about is easy. You think Nick Saban said that in 2012 when they played us?
Nah.
No.
That's it. Yeah, there was no Vaseline. That was definitely one of the best pregame disses of the other team.
I mean, it was just like, come on, man. Duh. But what can you do?
And this is the thing. Kirby didn't need to do that. Kirby didn't need to.
And that's what be crazy.
Georgia was going to wreck. Look, let me bring this question up, dude. Because let me help people understand, bro. Because when we have lauded Georgia on this show for 2 consecutive years, bro. And people try to tell us, man, y'all get off they sack. Okay. All right. When they play their A game, there's nobody in the country that's messing with them. They beat Ohio State with a C game, bro. And Ohio State played an A game. And they still lost. Neil Kopitz. Georgia would have killed anyone but Ohio State and Bama. Ohio State and Bama last night would have lost by double digits to Georgia.
Listen.
I watched Bama lose to LSU, dog.
I've never been so confident about
this team. Like, hey,
before the season even started, we both said Georgia was winning.
We both said Georgia was winning it. I don't care what they lost.
When have you ever felt so confident in saying, "Oh, they're winning the season that they ain't even put the pads on yet"?
No,
never.
Everybody's like, man, I don't see it. They lost all that talent to the NFL, which we're going to get to in the next segment when we talk about what it means to Notre Dame, because they're the number 1 team going into next year. Again. They're losing Jalen Carter. So what?
My thing is if Stetson Bennett wasn't on the team, are they still going undefeated and winning the championship? Probably.
Hey, Carson Beck looked like he had a pretty decent arm last night.
I mean, I'm saying, like, Carson Beck could have been Stetson Bennett. I could have been Stetson Bennett. You could have been Stetson Bennett.
They could have started their backups last night and beat TCU, bro.
Oh, man, like, easy.
Their backups were banging TCU starting defense. Banging them.
Like, I'm telling you, Georgia looked like the faster, stronger, more athletic, the bigger, the more aggressive, the better team. I mean, like, everything Georgia was doing, running a basic outside run. I mean, TCU dudes couldn't even meet the guy at the line of scrimmage. They're just falling off the tackles. And I mean, TCU trying to hit them. They just falling off. Georgia players just falling forward, stiff arming dudes. Like, why? I'm talking about wide open. Like, the moment was way too big for TCU. I have never seen dudes running wide. I'm in a championship game. Dude running what? I'm talking about 20 yards of separation.
Man, their defensive coordinator was on the sideline talking about you making them look better than they are.
No, I mean, they was.
Wait, no, fam. No, wait. At some point, bro. Maybe he could say that against Michigan. Dude. When you have built your entire season on this is our advantage, we're faster, we got more speed, and that's how you win. And you come up against a bigger team that's faster or just as fast as you, bro. All of that it has nothing to do with fit.
Stetson Bennett was running the first touchdown. He ran like untouched for like 20 yards.
And did an unnecessary juke at the 5-yard line. Like, dude,
y'all just like where are they at? I was saying that the whole where are they at?
Dude, they were running TCU's plays. They ran Max Dugan's quarterback sweep to the left for another touchdown. They're like, we're gonna take y'all playbook and beat y'all with y'all playbook.
And the touchdown that he ran like that, they didn't even have nobody to block. They had the 2 guys running out there looking for someone. They said, where the blockers? Where the guys at? I don't even have nobody to block. We fooled y'all that bad?
Oh,
was y'all scared? Like,
this cat Lab McConkey getting to the league on a torn MCL, bro.
on a torn.
He out there putting in work on a torn MCL.
I'm talking about catching wide open passes, just running. I mean, it was even on 3rd and 15. Perfect protection. Dudes just pitch and catch. They didn't drop 8. They got 8 guys back. Dudes just pitching and catching. First down. 18-yard gain on the play. Like, good grief. Cut it out. Like Stetson Bennett has had the most perfect setup, helped career ever. Ever. Nobody has ever been in such a blessed position. Not even Vinny Testaverde. Blessed.
So you look, we both agree. Stetson Bennett rode coattails to the first one. He almost lost it going into the fourth quarter and then was able to come back and win it. But he was surrounded by ridiculous talent last year.
I mean, come on.
The offense did step up this year because the defense wasn't as good as last year's Georgia defense. He got better as a quarterback. I'll give him a greater percentage of them winning this year, but he still offensively, they have so much talent. And you got 2 NFL first-round tight ends. You never have to lead 12 personnel, right? You stay in 12 personnel. Defenses don't know to go big. Should we go big? Should we go small? Nobody. Brock Bowers can do whatever the heck he wants to do on the football field.
Taking speed,
whatever
sweeps, catching screens, running
whatever he wants to do.
And then they throwing it to the big dude, blocking the shit out of people. I mean, come on, like, this is.
And everybody was quiet. Like, where's Brock Bowers? Where's Brock Bowers? What happened to him? Well, go look at the fourth quarter against Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's crazy because their best players play in big games and make plays. Like, they win with their best players. They're not winning on no conventional backup running back just had a great game. No. They're winning because Brock Bowers is going to make those plays at the end of the game.
Facts.
He ain't finna, disappear in the moment. No.
They got to do
win the game because they're dudes.
They got to do.
And it's crazy because the team is full of dudes. They got dudes. They got the dudes winning it though.
Was that the Tropic Thunder? Oh man, a dude that knows a dude. Who was that played that role? That was our boy. What's his name? That's Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Dude, they got dudes on top of dudes that's backed up by dudes.
I mean, the D line, Jalen Carter by himself.
They walk-ons become dudes. The walk-ons at Georgia become dudes.
I mean, Jalen Carter was just by himself, looking like Aaron Donald out there. It's like Max Dugan drop back. They rush him forward. He'll just break the O-line down. It'll be one guy rushing Max, and he'll be in a disarray, in shambles.
As we get ready, you know what was the most disrespectful thing? Kirby was disrespectful in that pregame speech. I don't care. That was disrespectful. I get it, but it was mad.
Greatest speech. It was a disrespectful.
It's a disrespectful speech. But Kirby was even more disrespectful because they come out of halftime, and this dude Kirby started bringing everything. Now this dude started blitzing, crossing the linebackers, bringing it outside out the slot. I'm like, Kirby, you already up 31. You trying to hurt this dude now? It's not good enough.
Yeah, showing me sorry. Yeah.
Man.
Stop hyping these sorry quarterbacks. Stop hyping them.
I agree with you, Jacob C. TCU definitely proved what we said on this show all year. People were like, oh, Michigan's a good team. Michigan would have got romped last
Michigan
night.
already got romped.
Romped.
Last year, I knew they was a fraud. And they had 2 quarterbacks. They get one, they're still a fraud. They would have got same shellacking by Georgia. Same thing would have happened. The difference is Georgia would have scored the same amount of points,
Man,
which means there would be no difference between TCU and Michigan. Like they was all in the same boat. 52 would have been on TCU like it was yesterday, and 53 would have been on Michigan. It would have been Georgia wouldn't have skipped a beat.
bro.
Now, if it was Bama and Ohio State, okay, maybe, okay.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even have wanted to be in that position.
The
Drew
fifth,
Pine?
brother, the fifth running back on the depth chart got a touchdown where he was untouched, left
Mm.
against the starting defense.
The starting
T
defense?
He was untouched, left. This is the fifth running back. The fifth.
Couldn't even get his jersey dirty. They just formed a whole wall for the dude, right? Escorted him right to the touch. He like, dang, yo, I can't even get no hits.
Man. Lucky Lefty podcast.
That's cheating. Your fifth depth chart running back scoring a touchdown in the national championship game untouched. That's cheating. That's cheating. That's cheating.
Like I see Jay Henry saying they barely passed the Ohio State test. They played a bad game and won. That really tells you a lot more about Ohio State. When you're supposed to be a great team and another great team can play a bad game and still beat you at your best, that says more about you. When you can play a C game and win, that means you see what you get in the national championship.
That's okay because we got something for Ohio State next year. We're gonna show them how bad they are next year. Because
facts.
Because you saw how we saw how bad Clemson actually was this year.
Facts. I agree.
We're gonna show how bad Ohio State is next year.
Perfect segue.
That's right.
Man, that ends our conversation about the national championship game and Kirby Smart's speech and what we've been telling you about Georgia and Kirby Smart for the last 2 years, man. And they're ranked number one and the betting favorite to do it all over again.
Yeah, they do it all over again next year.
Do it all over again next year. Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Hit us up on YouTube, Lucky Lefty Podcast. All of our great content is over there. CFB Nation in conjunction with the Irish Breakdown. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know we spin it different. Okay, Left, we transition now into how the national championship game impacts Notre Dame. Notre Dame adds Sam Hartman. Most people expect the offense to take a step forward with the talent at the running back position, talent at the offensive line, and talent at the wide receiver position that we believe was there but was underutilized this year because of, what Notre Dame had at the quarterback position once Tyler Buchner was injured. And heck, even before Tyler Buchner got injured, the way he was playing. The Gator Bowl comes around and you start to see an inkling of what the wide receiver crew can do, right? We already knew Jaden Thomas was the best route runner on the squad, and that was just confirmed in the Gator Bowl. He's going to be a playmaker. Now, can he be a dude in a semifinal game? Can he be a dude in a championship game? Still yet to see. Tobias Merriweather. We hear about how great he is, and everybody loves him. BT transfer wide receiver Caleb Smith, that's now at Notre Dame, said, "Yo, I'm watching the practice, and I'm like, who was that dude? Oh, he's a freshman. A freshman. Can he be a dude?
Can he be a dude
in a playoff game? Can he be a dude in a national championship game? Right? No longer do you have a Michael Mayer, but it's Notre Dame. Somebody's going to jump up in that tight end room because it's Notre Dame. That's what they do. They produce tight ends. You fully expect that, but will they eventually have a dude? Will it be Eli Raritan? Will it be Mitchell Evans? Will it be Holden Stays? Right? Lorenzo Styles Jr., can he return to his freshman form where we thought and expected that he was going to be a dude in his sophomore year, right? There's plenty of talent there. And then you bring in the freshmen they're bringing in the 23 class. Can one of those guys jump up and be a dude? Right? Like, can you expect freshmen to make an impact? A.D. Mitchell caught the game-winning touchdown against Alabama in the championship game last year as a true freshman.
Yeah.
This is where it touches Notre Dame because the offense has been elevated. But the question is that defense. The question is still the linebackers because you still have guys at linebacker that are coming back as of today. What's going to happen? Are you going to keep the same play that's been there over the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Or are the young guys going to unseat them and rise to the occasion?
And rise to the occasion.
Like you have young guys on the back end, Ramon Henderson, Xavier Watts. What are they going to do? Your DBs, Cam Hart, Benjamin Morrison, Jaden Mickey. You bring in Thomas Harper. You look at his film, Thomas Harper's a little bit better than the 3 stars that he got coming out of high school.
Yeah.
He's a pretty darn good player. Your DBs, Clarence Lewis, you throw him in there. DBs are going to be okay if they stay healthy. It's all about health for Cam Hart.
Yeah.
It's all about health. But Cam Hart and Benjamin Morrison have to stay healthy. I don't want to hear about Georgia, what they're losing. They lost 15 players to the NFL, 5 defensive players in the first round. But you know what Georgia had this year left on a championship defense? 5 freshmen or sophomores that were starters. The defense they had this year had 5 freshmen or sophomores starting. Starters left. Freshmen and sophomores. So I don't want to hear that you got to wait for them to turn into juniors. No. If you're a championship program, freshmen and sophomores, they make an impact. They make an impact. That's a championship team. That's recruiting at a championship level. That's how you get it done.
That's how you get it done.
That's how you get it done. And that's why we said last week, we could talk about Sam Hartman all you want to. You can talk about the excitement of that offense. If that defense doesn't raise his level, that you just saw that Georgia team. If they have 5 freshmen and sophomores starting, they're going to be sophomores and juniors next year. And the second string that came in, the freshmen and sophomores that came in second string, blitzing off the edge, getting sacks, disrupting the starting offense for TCU, they're coming back too. So can Sam Hartman and that Notre Dame offense put up 40 points on that? That's what you have to ask yourself this morning.
Yeah, can Sam Hartman put up 40 points?
Can he put up 40 points on that?
Not North Carolina defense.
No.
Not Wake Forest defense.
No.
Against a defense like that.
Because last I checked, A.D. Mitchell, he's coming back. Kearis Jackson, he's coming back. The Harris kid, the true freshman, he's coming back. Lad McConkey can come back. Bowers is coming back. They lose 2 offensive linemen. Yeah, last week, everybody was happy. Yeah, national championship. Okay, now you just saw the litmus test. You just saw the litmus test.
And they had an undefeated season in the SEC.
Can you put up 40 points against that? That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. And if somebody beats them, whoever beats them, you're going to have to put up 40 on them.
But your program is ridiculous. Because it's going to have to be from top to bottom to beat a team like that. Because that means you are the team to beat after that. And you can't slip because they can mess around and 3-peat. So it's going to be a lot.
Dude. Like, G-Baby said, if our O-line blocks. Dog, you say that like that's easy. That ain't if our O-line blocks.
We need a whole bunch more than blocking.
Our O-line is not facing anybody like Georgia on that
The
schedule.
whole year.
The whole year.
Clemson don't got no Georgia D-line.
No. And that's
USC definitely don't got no
that's
Georgia.
what Tyler Davis and the boys coming back. Nah, it ain't the same. It ain't the same. You need some dudes. Who are going to be the dudes? Tell us, LL Nation. Offensively, who are going to be the dudes? You need some dudes. You need some dudes in that fourth quarter. Who's Sam Hartman going to? That you know definitively they can't stop him. They can't stop this dude.
Right now,
we
everybody
can use him 3 to 4 different ways, and ain't nothing you can do to stop him. Remember, I said this yesterday, bro. I said it's a big difference between Marvin Harrison Jr. and Quentin Johnson, bro. Quentin Johnson runs 3 routes. Over route, post route, go route. That's it. Or drag a little crossing route across. That's it. System. He's not a polished wide receiver. Not a polished wide receiver. So it's going to be a lot easier to defend him and the TCU wide receivers than it was to defend Egbuka and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
With a better quarterback. That's the litmus test. That's what we have to do. It's not whether or not, I feel like Notre Dame's going to put up 40 plus on their schedule next year. Easy, and I think they're going to do it easily.
On Ohio State for sure.
Easily. But can you do it against them dudes?
Yeah.
That's a totally different. I think we learned that there's a big difference between Georgia. I know Ohio State should have won the game, had a chance to win the game. They had over a month to prepare. If they had a week to prepare like in the regular season, it wouldn't have gone like that. CJ Stroud played the best game of his life. I'm glad he played the best game of his life right before the draft. I'm glad he did.
Yep.
Super glad he did.
You think the Bears going to draft a guy and trade Justin Fields?
Man, don't believe that foolishness, man. People talking right now. Don't believe that foolishness, dude.
I'd trade him for Bryce Young.
That's the dumbest thing in the world.
Right.
Do you know how bad this team? Do you know how bad this team is? Do you understand?
Justin Fields' trade value.
Okay. You put Bryce Young back there with that offensive line with 55 sacks.
But in the trade value for Justin Fields, I'm going to grab a lineman. I'm going to grab a first round.
Get a lineman from where? Out of this draft? Who?
No. I'm saying whoever I trade with, I'm going to grab a lineman from their team.
One lineman?
Maybe 2, depending on,
The Bears need all 5.
Stop it, bro. Stop.
No. I'm not. Look, any Bears fan in the chat will tell you. Literally, the Bears need at least 4 linemen. 4.
Could you get it with Justin Fields? Yes.
4 linemen?
Yeah.
Man, what value do you think Justin Fields has right now?
Apparently, he's a hot topic in the league. He's a franchise guy.
If he can nab you a first and maybe another pick, that's the max.
Okay.
If I'm a team, wait a minute. If I'm a team,
and then you got the first round pick.
If I'm a team willing to take a kid that has proven that he can run, but he can't throw,
here we
quite
go.
yet. No. I don't put that on him though. I'm just saying there is no tape of him being a consistent thrower. He doesn't have a film a week to week going out there consistently carving up defenses.
You know who else doesn't?
But that's not on him.
You know
that's not on him.
Allen doesn't.
Yeah, that's fair. If you want to say that, that's fine. If you want to say that, that's fine. I'll give you that. All I'm telling you is that cat Bryce Young, you don't want to put him on that bad team. You don't.
So if you get him,
I don't want to ruin Bryce Young. He deserves. Well, I don't want him to go to Houston either.
He gonna go to one of them teams.
That's tough. That's tough, Left.
Be interesting. It would be interesting. I think that the Bears should trade Justin Fields for sure. Then, if you trade Justin Fields, you get good trade value. At least you get another first round pick, get a lineman. Now you have the first pick of the draft, another first round pick. You got a lineman. You get Bryce Young, boom, and you get another first round. Maybe get a receiver or another lineman. Now you got two linemen, and then now you cooking now. Now remember, my favorite team, Jacksonville. It took us 2 years. We need a coaching change because we got Doug Peterson, who's done a great job with Trevor Lawrence. They won 9 games in their first year. And, Trevor Lawrence is pretty solid. He showed us he was solid. But, Trevor Lawrence came in first year. Everybody thought he was trash. Second year with a new coach.
That's the key. I can tell you right now, Luke Getsy is horrible as an offensive coordinator. He's terrible. That's my point, Lev. He's terrible. He's terrible. I don't need to see him another year to know he's terrible. He's terrible. Now, either you're going to have to give Luke Getsy a bunch of talent, just a bunch of talent that he can work with, so now he can be better as a play caller, or they can make him look better as a play caller, which means you need more picks. And the number one pick is going to give you more picks than trading Justin Fields. It just is. You pick up 2 picks with Justin Fields, man, you can mess around, pick up 4 or 5 picks. I saw a proposed trade where the Bears get the 2 first-round picks they swap picks with the Colts, like 4 and 31 or something. Then they get the Colts number 1 for next year, right? And they get like a 3rd or a 2nd. And they get DeForest Buckner from the Colts. Like that's the type of haul you can get for that number 1 pick. And these dudes talking about trading for 2 picks for Justin Fields and taking another.
But it's going to be more than 2 picks.
Man,
It's going to be more than 2. It'd be a first and a
Look,
and a 3rd and maybe a 4th and a lineman.
Dude, Luke Getsy, I'm sorry, Jonathan. Luke Getsy is horrible. He's horrible. He's horrible. It literally took him 6 weeks to recognize this dude had Justin Fields and those receivers a full training camp. And it took him 6 weeks to realize I need to use Justin Fields' legs. You are not a smart offensive coordinator if it took you 6 weeks into the season to realize that the best offensive weapon I have with these wide receivers in this offensive line is the legs of Justin Fields. It took him 6 weeks and a bye week to realize that. So don't tell me that he's not bad. He's horrible. Common sense would have told you that. But you know what he did? He tried to change Justin Fields into this pocket passer with these bad wide receivers. So if he's so great, that was his game plan. He knew the wide receivers were questionable coming out of camp. He knew the offensive line was questionable. And he knew he had a young quarterback. But he tried to change him into a pocket passer instead of using his gifts and talents. But you want to tell me Luke Getsy is okay. No, he's not. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Any common sense, any smart offensive coordinator would have said, like Brian Dable would have took him just like he took Josh Allen and said, you know what? Scrap all this other stuff. We're gonna run you. We're gonna use these legs.
Yeah.
And get you outside and let you make plays outside the pocket. But it took him 6 weeks and a bye week for the light bulb to go on. Come on, man. Man, they need to get that dude some new coaches. They need the Bears players. The report came out today, bro. Bears players are talking to management, upper management, about the coaching staff in their exit interviews. It already came out.
Well, when you the worst team in the league for that year, you gonna have some stuff like that.
Dude, how are you the worst team in the league and you don't have an open door policy for your players to come in and talk to you? How? Everybody on that coaching staff should be under a microscope. Everybody. Defensive coordinator too. Everybody. Of course, better players makes any coach look better. Of course. But that cat Luke Getsy, let's not act like he's that bright, bro. They said after 6 weeks going into the bye week, we had to watch film and reevaluate the talent on the team. You should have known the talent on the team stunk. And what are you talking about? The fans knew that the talent stunk before the season. How did you not know that as the offensive coordinator?
It's that upper management stuff, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's crazy. So, no.
You know who they need to bring back? Our man Lovey.
No. Lovey did us a solid Sunday. Lovey, we love you, boy. We love you. That's a solid comeback against the Colts.
Man, if y'all love Lovey, bring Lovey back, man. He gonna get the defense right.
That dude Lovey
He
gave
gave
the Texans the middle finger on the way out the door.
That's right.
Like, y'all gonna fire me? Yeah. Y'all take this number 2 pick.
See how he helped Chicago out? Now Chicago do him a solid now. Bring him back.
Well, bring him back as a consultant, bro.
I'll bring you back head coach. Justin Fields needs that leadership, that guidance. Because Lovey gonna get that D right. He been there before. You know, he's a little too hot in Texas. You know, that beard is a little too hot for him.
Well, he's a Texas boy. So he's used to it.
I hear that.
He's used to it. So, no, Bears probably are going to trade back either because now you already know the Colts are going to give you a haul. Chris Ballard, he met with the media this morning in Indianapolis and flat out said, yes, we giving up to move up in the draft to get our quarterback. He said it this morning. So you already know the Colts. Okay, they coming to the table. The Texans, they're goofy. They have to be at the table if they want Bryce Young because they can't let somebody jump them. So now they have to put a package together. And then there's always a team in the teams that's willing to sacrifice everything to come up. So Bears are sitting pretty, bro.
Is there a quarterback to do that this draft?
It depends on what you think about Bryce
Will
Young.
Levis?
Man, look, Will Levis to me is Mitchell Trubisky.
He's gonna go to the Colts.
Will Levis is Mitchell Trubisky to me.
Probably worse.
Because you know darn well C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are better quarterbacks. Just like you knew Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson were better quarterbacks than Mitchell Trubisky.
They give him that Zach Wilson treatment, man. It's a shame. It's bad for sports. It's bad for sports.
You know Zach Wilson's on the petty train. You know that, right?
What did he do?
Oh, dude, we'll get to it. You know he's on the petty train. So, but getting back to Notre Dame. Yo, this charge up the mountain. And it's amazing. I'm amazed because we asked Notre Dame fans, when do you think Notre Dame is going to win a championship? And most Notre Dame fans settled on 2024. They were like, yo, we believe in Marcus Freeman. We believe he can recruit at a higher level. We like what he's doing. We're going to let him learn and get better as a coach. And by 2024, we should be ready. All of a sudden, you get Sam Hartman, and you feel like Sam Hartman has just hyperspaced the program up to the level of what we saw last night.
No.
And
we don't have a defense to hide Sam Hartman like that.
You know, I would love to
come and play beyond his level.
Yes, I would love to get Sam Hartman the Stetson Bennett treatment. And just have a dudes surrounding him everywhere.
But dudes. Young dudes, old dudes. I think we made the right move of getting an older guy at the position. Isn't Sam Hartman like 32 or something like that?
Man, he ain't 32. There you go.
And don't he have a whole family and he's responsible? He's the only person on the team that can rent a car.
Dude, you're bugging right now, bro. You're bugging right now.
But that's obviously the recipe, because now that clearly means that that's a piece of what Georgia had. They had a very, very, very veteran guy at the position. So that's one piece, but that only helps when you have guys around him that are very, very experienced. So
And we'll get to see. That's the beautiful thing about this spring, right? And while the onus now goes to this coaching staff, because Jordan Botello needs to become a dude.
ASAP.
Josh Burnham needs to be a dude. Nolan Ziegler needs to be a dude. Jalen Sneed needs to be a dude. Once again, after losing 5 guys to the first round NFL draft last year on defense, Kirby Smart started 5 freshmen or sophomores and just won a championship in dominant fashion.
Like it was nothing.
In dominant fashion. That's everybody. It's not just Notre Dame. Nick Saban has to shoot for that. Ohio State, everybody. That's the top of the mountain. And they're going to be even more experienced next year. Even more experienced. With more disrespectful pregame speeches coming from Kirby Smart.
Because they can. That's the funny part, because they can.
And like Jay Henry, that's a great point. New signal caller. And that's the thing about the landscape next year. A lot of big programs. Alabama will have a new signal caller. Ohio State will have a new signal caller. Georgia's going to have a new signal caller. But guess what? Georgia won the championship with Stetson Bennett as a first-time signal caller.
That's got to be an asterisk or a caveat.
Like, dude.
He's had the ultimate quarterback experience playing with house money. He went into the season being like, we can go all the way and then some.
Yeah.
All I got to do is just be who I am, average.
Yeah. Carl, I see your trade. Quentin Nelson just signed a brand new deal. I don't think.
Ooh, I hope it got some zeros on that.
Yeah, I don't think. I think they're trying to dump salary because they're in cap hell in Indianapolis. So they're probably trying to dump salary, and that's why DeForest Buckner will probably be putting that trade over Quentin Nelson, who just got that new money. And there's no way I'm trading the best offensive lineman in football.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but no, there's a lot. Some dudes on the Notre Dame football roster need to be established this spring. Do they have a quarterback good enough to win a championship? Yes.
Who?
Is he the type of quarterback that's about to put a team on his back and carry them to the championship? No. We got to find some dudes in that wide receiver room. We believe we have some dudes at the running back position.
Yes.
We have some dudes. We believe we have some dudes on the offensive line.
Yes.
Defensively, who are the dudes? We believe we have dudes at cornerback.
Yes.
Do we have dudes at linebacker? We don't know.
You don't know?
We haven't seen them. From a talent standpoint, like, yeah, we hear about them all the time.
Hear about them.
Do we have dudes at the defensive line?
No.
See, Georgia showed that you can have dudes. You have to have dudes on at least 2 levels.
Yes.
Because the secondary was suspect.
Secondary suspect.
But the secondary was young. Young.
One of them's got to be developing group, while the other 2 got to be solid.
It's got to be solid. Got to be solid, right? And when your defense does a little drop, your offense has to come up, right? And the offense will probably come down a little bit, but guess what? All of those young players that played on defense this year, they're going to make the defense better. So Georgia has the combination going. Whatever side loses, they just make up the difference on the other side.
Just make up the difference.
Notre Dame has gained on the offensive side. Can that Notre Dame defense get up to enough of a level to support what we expect will be a better offense, especially in bigger games? That's the question. And that's the quandary for Marcus Freeman and his entire staff. We have to find some dudes. We have to find some dudes. It's one thing to have stars, it's another thing to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
You got to go out there and do it, and you have to do it on the biggest of stages.
On the biggest of stages, do we have a big stage quarterback? We don't know.
Yeah. That's for me. I almost got this is the difference. And you made this point. The only thing that's going to change things is expansion, because now it gives teams less time to prepare
That's right.
for these playoff games. I don't know if that's better for the more dominant teams or if that's better for the lesser teams not to have a more dominant team. I mean, heck, Georgia only had a week to prepare for TCU, but it's obvious that the first time they put the film on, they were like,
TCU is only a speed bump. But it could be, the game after TCU. They overlook TCU the next week, and they overlook another team that may give them some trouble. Not beat them.
Yeah.
But give them some trouble.
Yeah. So, Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation, in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. Great content, great shows. You already know what we do. We spin it different. I would like to say once again and reiterate what I said and spoke to you guys. Special guest tomorrow, former Notre Dame linebacker, big time businessman right now, Super Bowl champion in the NFL, walked the same hallways that I walked at 1744 West Pryor Avenue. None other than Corey Mays is going to join us tomorrow on the Lucky Lefty Podcast. It's about time we got some of this Morgan Park Mustang blood up on the Lucky. Yeah, I got tired of hearing all that dating stuff. I had to go grab one of my guys. That's
how you got to do it.
Yeah, so we could talk about what it is to come out of Chicago. And he is a great story, especially for that 4 for forever that Notre Dame speaks about. When you hear about what he's been able to do, stepping away from football and into the business world, man, you're definitely going to enjoy hearing from him. And then Thomas Harper, the newest addition via the transfer portal from Oklahoma State, the nickel safety. He joins us Thursday, tentatively Thursday. More than likely it's going to be Thursday or Friday, but we have him locked in Thursday, 11:30 a.m. right here with us on the Lucky Lefty Podcast. I might go ahead and grab Sam Hartman for next week, bro.
Word.
Hey, we spin it different.
Okay.
We spin it different. Because I want Sam to come on here and talk his ish.
Yeah, because I think it'd be important for the fans to hear that you're not coming for just a vacation in the boosting resume.
Man, you did.
Don't just come to get a resume booster. Because we're gonna give you that naturally. We showed you interest. We're gonna do our part.
Facts.
But what are you doing on your part to bring us some 2 dubs that we desperately need?
Yeah, and then Brady. I think we said it. Brady Quinn. I don't know if we said it when we tried to grab him after the Gator Bowl. He told us, "I'll get you guys after the national championship game," because the schedule was crazy. So when he hits us, that's when he'll be on the show.
When he hisses, he hisses.
When he says his schedule is good, he'll be on the show. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Let's get through some of these questions before we get to the favorite part of the show. Jason Hewlett, thank you for the super chat. Coach Smart, best speech ever. Luck for OC.
Most disrespectful speech. I think we agreed on that.
Jason Hewlett, thank you for the super chat. What happens to 25 and 20? And Love is on deck. 3 and 7 already eating the snaps. I'm just saying, luck for OC. I think you see look, they said it last night. No running back on Georgia ever had a game of over 20 carries this year, and all three of them played. At this point, Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, you know what you're walking into. The two big dudes will be leaving Notre Dame next year after 3 years, going to the NFL. And then your sophomore year is your show. They know what it is. It's the same. Logan Diggs had to wait for Kyron to leave. Aldrich waited for Kyron to leave. You know what it is. And man, that's they know.
They know.
They know. Better get on it. Man, Brian Mason and special teams, kick return. There's all type of ways to make an impact. And heck, if you just that good, hopefully they'll put you on the field. Truman, Theodore Dumel, $4.99. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know. I just read that $4.99 like it was part of his tag, bro. What type of impact would bringing back the prodigal son, C.J. Williams? Well, he's not a prodigal son to me. I mean, the dude left the class and then said some disrespectful things about Notre Dame. So I could care less. Lucas is not coming. I'm actually going to watch Justin Scott tonight play basketball. So,
Nice.
yeah. Well, I'm going to watch him tonight up at St. Ignatius. So, man, But if he comes back and they want him, that's their choice. But I think, like Jaden Mickey said it best in response to his decommitment, like, you know what? Bounce. Because you can't even be a man of your word. So obviously they had conversations.
Yeah, we're not tripping.
Ryan Loftus said Georgia's about to lose 75% of their starters, right? I don't believe it's 75%. But heck, they just lost 15 last year. And what happened?
They look better.
This year's team did actually look better. Because last year they still had to win like with defense.
Yeah.
Now the offense is cooking. It's like, man, Doma Watt, thank you for the super chat. Bobby Knight liked Coach Smart's speech. Oh, Bobby Knight would like that as many expletives as he threw out.
He probably threw a chair. That's why they didn't have a video. They had the audio.
Right. The Georgia players, if anything, were probably like, dang, Kirk, word?
It's like, I know we're going to beat them, but dang. That's
right. Like, man, you went all out for this speech.
Like that today.
Like, man, are we playing Bama? Like, dude.
Yeah, are we playing a team that actually can do something?
Right. Like, what was this speech against Ohio State?
Yeah.
You know what time it is, Left.
Petticoat. Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, pettiest stories of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, and premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Man, I love the chat. Someone in the chat said that Georgia's just going to reload. I mean, that's what they do. But I'll tell you one thing. The Georgia we watched the last 2 years, don't bring up the Notre Dame games where we played them close, because this ain't the same Georgia.
No.
They've gone to a whole nother level since those games. So please don't bring up those games anymore.
Yeah, that was in there before they evolved for them.
Man.
We catching Ohio State in their de-evolution. That's what we about to
I totally agree with that. And the fact that that coach, hey, he got out-coached.
Like they said, he was born on third.
He got out-coached this year, in my opinion.
Of course. You can't inherit a good team. You have to build a good team.
So here we go, Left. Here's your boy, Zach Wilson. This is why he's on the petty train, though.
You said you're a competitor, so if they come to you in March and say, look, we're going to keep you, we like you, we're going to develop you, but we're signing veteran X to be our starter, how would you feel?
Yeah, I'm gonna make that dude's life hell in practice every day. I'm gonna go out there and do my best to just show the coaches that I deserve to be there. And and it's not in a negative way. It's a positive way. It's making everybody else better, hopefully. And you go out there and you just attack every single day.
Man, you ain't making nobody's life hell in practice. Shut up. Shut up.
I told the man to shut up.
You couldn't even make Joe Flacco's life hell. You couldn't make Mike White's life hell in practice. What the? Zach Wilson, shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
Shut up. Your own receivers were dogging you, fam. In front of you in the locker room after games. Man, nobody respects you. No one.
Will Levis.
This
You
dude.
see that, Will Levis? That's what overrated can get you.
This dude. Mel Kiper talking about Will Levis is the number one quarterback in this draft. Man, if you don't get your... Yeah, Mel Kiper, you on a petty train. Get your goofy self. And Mel, look, I'm not trying to go super hard on Mel because I know he's had some issues, health issues, and it's glad to see him back. So I'm going to stop short of really going in. But Mel, come on, man. Don't perpetuate that crap. Don't do that. 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 Don't be the one. Just tell the truth. These are the top two dudes. They've shown it for the last 2 years. Stop. Stop. Because I guarantee you.
Don't try to make no aha, prediction at the end of the day. Stick to the script.
Yes.
You've seen it for the last 2 years.
Come on, man.
Don't give me no surprise. Well, he's got the no, he doesn't.
But you know what? We already know NFL executives, they're dummies. Because there was one that took Zach Wilson, there was one that took Mitchell Trubisky, and it's going to be one that jumps up and takes Will Levis early.
There's one that took Josh Allen.
Come on, boy, you just are relentless on this cat, Josh Allen. Good grief. You are relentless, dude.
Because they won't quit on Josh Allen. They keep talking about he's the second and first best quarterback. How? How is he better than Lamar? Lamar should be getting paid more than this joker, man.
You worried about Lamar if he plays against your boys?
Man, he ain't playing. He need to get paid first. He need to get his NIL deal up with the Ravens.
Man, hopefully it's about to be our turn at Notre Dame real soon. Lucky Lefty podcast. So for the boy, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, I'm Shaun Davis. Great show. Chat, LL Nation, as always. You guys are fantastic. You're the best. We appreciate all your POVs, everything you bring to the show. Couldn't do it without you. The climb to 5,000 is real. Once again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CFP Nation, in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, Corey Mays joins us tomorrow on the Lucky Lefty podcast. I don't know. You hear that noise, bro?
It's that rain, man. I got rain in Cali.
Y'all do have rain in Cali. And I heard it was raining pretty hard, dude.
So my roommate picking somebody up from Santa Barbara gets stuck. Can't make it to him. They boxed him off from getting there and coming back. So he had to sleep at the gas station all night because they blocked off the roads because it was flooding.
Oh, it's like landslides too, right?
Yeah, so he couldn't go or come back. So he's stuck on the coast. Not how you want to be.
That's wild.
Yeah, so
that's wild.
He was sleeping in his car all night. I know he was salty.
Man, if you're on the left coast, be safe out there, man. I know baby girl was complaining about using her umbrella to go to class this morning. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Drive out here now.
Corey Mays tomorrow. Thomas Harper Thursday. Right now might be Friday. And Brady Quinn sometime in the near future. Hey, you already know we spin it different.